Okay, so starting a game. Playing Quest to 3000, FIDE Master, who I'm friendly with in real life, and good luck. Let's play. What to play here? Let's play knife six, and I'll have the chat room open just in case there's any emergency. But this will be new. There's no Twitch chat to distract me. Just me and my thoughts and my pieces. Okay, I'll play e6. I had this position recently in a tournament in Montreal against FM Doug Eckert, who played knight c3 and then I played bishop b4. Against g3, I'll play d5. This is layout okay, layout's okay. I'm going to close, at least minimize StreamLabs OBS. Yeah, against bishop g2, I usually take. We have some sort of Catalan ready type thing. There's a few moves here for white. Queen a4 is one of the moves. Actually, one of my games against Fiddler went down this line. I blundered really early in the middle game. But okay, this is longer chess. I'm trying to avoid blundering. Typically, the main idea for black is to play bishop e7, complete development, and eventually c5. If black can get in c5 without any issues, then it gets one way to equalize. But opponent taking time. This is casual, so I'm not risking any rating points. My rating did take a dip recently. Queen b3 is a move. Yeah, with queen b3, there's some more pressure. I'll still play bishop e7. Only reasonable square for the bishop. I think more popular is queen c2. With queen b3, there's a4 ideas. Okay, I'll play knight bd7. Very often, if white does play a4, I'll play a6. Just keep things defended. So d4. It is a question like what move order to play. I'm wondering if, if my opponent did any specific preparation for me. I think a6 still makes sense to at least consider playing c5 next move. This is another difference with queen on b3 is constant pressure against b5. So a6 over defends b5, I want to play c5. And if I get in c5, then the queen is exploitable, because there's c4 ideas, bishop d5, knight c5. One move might be knight e5 here. Having a lot of memories from this Fiddler game, where at some point in this Fiddler game I had castled, I played queen b6, and I played knight d5, and I just allowed knight takes d7. Okay, so knight e5. Knight e5 unleashes a bishop, pawn is pinned. I mean, I could just take. I could take and knight d5, and it concedes a bishop pair. But it's one approach. There's also, I mean, there's takes and... Wait, isn't this what I just said? Takes, knight d5. Idea to play c5, the next move? I mean, another approach is queen b6, but I'd be concerned about bishop e3. Yeah, a lot of bad memories from this one's Fiddler game. Yeah, I'm mainly focusing on taking in knight d5, because then I'm threatening c5 immediately. There is e4, there is rook d1. With e4, the knight probably drops back, And then rook d1, queen c7. It's hard to stop c5, even if bishop e3, and c5, c4. E4 will shut down this bishop. So let's take. If somehow white can stop me from playing c5, then I'll be worse. I'm not sure how that's possible. Knight c3, another move. I'm curious what white will do here, because there's knight c3, e4, and rook d1 I think are the main considerations. Also a4. a4 might actually stop b5. I'm looking at it more closely. a4, c5 takes. Okay, so rook d1 immediately. So initially I just thought queen c7, which looks very reasonable. Calculating queen c7, a4, c5 takes, and then c4. I guess there's queen a4 there. Queen a4, knight b6. Gets a little bit messy. But okay, queen c7 attacks a pawn. Okay, some initiative. Giving white some options. I'm a little bit lagging with development. Like, I'm not... I haven't developed my bishop or castled, but that should come soon. And white still has to develop the queen side. Yeah, overall, I think it's more up to white to kind of prove what to do in the position. Because my next several moves are quite natural. The question if white wants to play a4. This a4 is probably reasonable. I should calculate a4, c5 takes, and then c4. At least try and calculate more accurately. Because queen a4, knight b6. There's queen a5. Unusual position. I mean, maybe that works. a4, c5. Take c4, queen a4. I'm drawing arrows to help the people in the future watching. The arrows are sometimes a little bit distracting for me. Okay. I guess with a4, though, I'm not obliged to play c5. Oh, I could just take on e5. I forgot I'm threatening e5. So knight c3. Okay. Oh, so maybe this stops c5 as well. Yeah, knight c3. I guess I didn't consider this because I can just win a pawn. Do I go for greed? Queen takes e5. Free pawn. I mean, queen takes e5. Where is white's compensation? If we trade on d5, I probably take with e-pawn. There's bishop f4, queen f6. I guess there's e4 in the end. I could take with the c-pawn as well. Like takes, takes, takes. Bishop f4. And then even take on e2. I'm just looking for like a worst case scenario where I don't have to calculate so much. Takes, takes, takes. I guess e4 is a move right away. I win another pawn, then bishop f4. And it's a question, can I castle soon enough? Like queen h5. Queen h5, rook c1 will threaten rook c7. I have bishop d5 in the end, I think. I should take. I think it's really up to white to prove things. Like in most of these lines, I spend time looking for white's resources or searching for white's resources. I'm more just kind of relying on intuition that I shouldn't be in so much trouble. I might be misjudging things. I mean, but okay, I won a center pawn. White's gonna have a little bit of initiative with the e4 and with the bishop f4 ideas. If f4 right away, I have bishop c5, which could be very nice. Okay, so that's expected. I think, yeah, my impression was to take with the pawn. Oh, I'm realizing after takes, bishop f4 takes, there's rook e1, but then I have queen c4, which should be fine. Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, e4 and bishop f4, I think, are the two candidate moves for white. Maybe slow playing, maybe like this or this to prepare this. Try and prevent me from developing my bishop. But I think if, let's imagine bishop here, and bishop d6, bishop d4, I have queen g5, defending the pawn. a4 is another idea. I think this type of position I have to be like hyper aware of white's ideas. But with a4 I have b4. Okay, pawn e4. Yeah, there's some pressure here for sure. I think this is what I was looking at earlier. Should probably devoted some more time to this line. Because bishop f4 is coming. Another pawn sack. So takes bishop f4, and queen h5. So what I had calculated earlier, I think is still holding up. Where it takes bishop f4, queen h5, rook c1, and then I have bishop d5. Which shuts down the d file, it attacks the queen. Have to watch out d7 potential mating square, but it's hard for white to access. So pawn takes e4, bishop f4, queen h5. Is the greediness paying off? I'm really not considering like other candidate moves. I'm just focused on this line. Because if it works for me, then I don't think there's much else to consider. Takes bishop f4, queen h5. And it's nice that I have some vague attack against the rook. And the pawn supported on e4. Also, the queen supports c5 for the bishop in some cases. I'm imagining even like takes bishop f4, queen h5, rook c1, bishop c5. Yeah, I think there's enough. Let's take... Spending a lot of time actually, but I think if I survive the next whatever 5 moves, and don't get like so worse, then it should be good for me. Queen h5. I mean, what else to consider with the queen? Yeah, so I saw this position coming like a while ago. And sometimes it's hard to judge from far away. Realizing there's some resource, like in this line, rook c1, bishop d5, queen c3. Some ideas of queen c1. Also, the queen hits a pawn, so the bishop maybe has a harder time developing. So I should really focus my efforts on rook c1. But after, let's say after bishop d5, queen c3, the rook on c1 is tied down to the rook on d1. Not sure if I can exploit that. But okay, rook c1, I also have bishop c5. There's queen c3. The queen c3 double attacks. Yeah, I think the concerning move in these variations is queen c3. I'm not seeing a clear-cut solution unless I have another idea. Ooh, I have an interesting idea. Rook c1, bishop e7. Rook c7 was the main concern, but then I have bishop d5. And then there's no queen c3 because of this move. So, now bishop e7 I rejected earlier because it allows rook c7. It might be risky, but it deserves attention. Because if I can castle and not lose a bishop, that would be ideal. So just bishop e7. Yeah, this is my main, like my bishop d5 lines were actually a bit more murky. But bishop e7, clear intention. Rook c7, bishop d5. Then the queen's tied down to this rook. There's queen c2. Queen c2, interesting. Queen c2, bishop d8. Okay, so I'll draw arrows. Rook c7, or sorry, bishop e7, rook c7, bishop d5, queen c2. Looking for tactics to distract the queen. I'd want a castle, but it hangs a bishop. So I'd play bishop d8 first, hitting the rook, preparing to castle. I might lose back a pawn, but white's not actually threatening to take because the queen's overworked. And the rook doesn't really have any great squares, I don't think. There's rook d7, but I don't think that's too scary. There's bishop d6 too, but then I can take and castle. Okay. Bishop e7. Yeah, these types of positions require a lot of kind of concrete calculations. And yeah, playing the defensive side, it's more about like survival and really being aware of opponents' ideas. Another idea that I've just kind of forgot about is g4. But g4 I don't think I'm too afraid of. Like I just take, and it gives me initiative. Okay, so rook c7. Oh, I forgot about rook takes e7. But that's sacking a lot of material, and the bishop on d5 will cut off the rook. I don't think I'm getting mated there. Yeah, like takes. I should have looked at this previously. I mean, white has one check. And king e8. I lose casting rights, but I'd be up the exchange and two pawns. But maybe, I mean, rook c1, it's interesting still. Idea rook c7, trying to mate me. So rook takes e7 takes queen b4, maybe king d7. Okay, queen c2 makes me happy. Yeah, because now I can play bishop d8. And bishop d8. Yeah, the rook is actually very limited. Yeah, I had said rook d7, but I'm not castled yet, so I could just take it. I mean, white's probably going to try and win back the pawn. Just making sure there's no crazy like queen c6 ideas. If rook takes d5, I can take with queen. Oh, there's bishop takes d5. But that, I don't think that's... Maybe it deserves some calculation. Bishop d8, or bishop takes e4, I meant. Bishop takes e4. I think I can just take, because the queen's tied down to the rook. Oh, there's rook c5. Rook c5, okay, I can keep throwing punches. Like, the bishops do well to restrict white's attack. Also, with rook c5, I could castle, and bishop takes e4 I take back because I hit the queen. Wow. Oh, I forgot the things aligned. Ooh. Oh, did I just blunder? I forgot my rook's hanging in the end. Oh no. Please don't tell me I'm losing. I might be losing this. Bishop takes e4. Do I have any escape? Takes, takes, takes. So takes, takes. Thinking about takes. Then there's takes. Ooh. Oh, this is dangerous. Wow. Oh, I completely forgot my rook is aligned. I don't have... My queen has no moves, too. Man. What to do? Wait a minute. Oh no, that doesn't work. So queen takes. Takes. No, I can't. I'm trying to look for ways to salvage material. Queen d1? No. Like, I'll temporarily be up material, but it's not going to help me. Okay, so the problem with this is queen c6 and queen takes a8. I'm just losing. Otherwise, I have to take with queen, bishop takes e4, and my rook on 8 in the end. I castle at some point? Could maybe castle at some point. Wow. Okay, let's take with... I don't have a plan, though. Takes with queen. Rook c8 or rook... I probably just have to accept that this is losing. There's queen. Some eventual queen check on d1. I'm searching, but not finding much. What to do? Queen takes a2, no. Queen d7, takes. I'm looking at this line now. Takes king f8. I lose a rook. I have queen d1 check. But then I'm just losing. Any other? I mean, this is very close to just resignable. Any other moves? Oh, one more idea actually. To play e5 at some point. So queen d4, queen c6, king f8, queen takes. Even like g5. Okay, let's take, and then queen d4. It's ugly, but I don't know what to do. And if I take, taking doesn't help. Wow. Queen. If I play g5, it doesn't really help either. Looking at taking and casting queenside, but that gets mated. Okay, let's play queen d4. So queen c6 expected, I think. I mean, there is a line like takes, where white has two bishops for rook and pawn. But yeah, this is unfortunate. Oh, I'm just getting mated here. Takes. Bishop e7 doesn't help. Okay. Wow, nice game. I got punished for being greedy. Lost in 23 moves. Nice game. Well played. Rematch? Yeah, something went terribly wrong. I just missed rook take d5. Got way too comfortable. I was even talking about this, like being aware of my opponent's resources. Bishop e7 probably just not a good move. Maybe it's already like questionable.